Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Nature Angel and I am so happy that you are joining. But this video was inspired because I was at work the other day and I was just thinking about how there's certain things that seem so much easier now that were not that way in my first year, and I was like, oh, I can use this as a video idea. So that's what this video is going to be about, is things that during your first year, or even first couple of years, you might freak out about or think it's too hard, but then as time goes on, you realize, oh, this is actually easy now when it wasn't before. So if that sounds interesting to you, then definitely keep watching. So the first thing that I want to mention that I found is easier as time goes on is writing reports. So in your first year, it takes so long to write a report, and as the year goes on, like, you're writing these reports. So honestly, in the first year, you pretty much draft up a template that you're going to use, where you're going to copy and paste it for each kid that has the same type of testing, and then you will just change the scores. So the thing is, this only works if you're using the same kind of test. So I have been using the same kind of adaptive rating scales and the same type of achievement and IQ assessments. So I just will see, okay, did I give this test to a kid? Did I? If I did, copy and paste it, change the name, change the scores, because I already have the descriptions of what the test is, of what the scores mean, and now I just need to center it around the student. So it does become easier, because it really did take a long time to do my first year, because I needed to write the initial draft. While right now, I have been doing it for years and using the same kind of assessment, so it's easier. Another thing that tends to get easier, and this one might be a little personality dependent, but being bold gets easier. So what I mean by that is, in the beginning, you might doubt your skills and you might be scared to speak up on certain things that you feel is actually right, but since you're new, you just kind of want to stand back a little bit. But as time goes on, especially if you're in the same schools, but even if you're not, just you become more confident in your skills as time goes on. You start to realize, like, no, this is not okay, and I'm not going to sit and just pretend like it is okay. So you're more likely to speak out and do this in the best interest of the student. Something else that really seemed to become easier as time went on is being organized. Because again, in your first year, you're kind of trying to figure out everything. You're like, how does the school system work? I'm trying to remember everything from grad school. And you're just really trying to get a sense of what the job is like, since you're probably the only school psychologist. So there's just a lot going on, and it can be overwhelming, which can lead to being disorganized. But as the years go by, certain things become repetitive, or can become repetitive. Like you know what to expect. You know you're gonna write reports. If you're in the same district, you may even do groups and things like that. And if you're doing groups, you'll probably do the same or similar groups each year. So you already kind of have a plan because you already did it. You know what worked and didn't work. You can refine it, but you already have the baseline. So in the first year, you're creating that baseline. And then I feel like that allows you to be more organized as the years go on, even in terms of how you keep track of who you're testing. I know I did a video before on the Excel sheets, but if you saw my Excel sheet from year one, I just had the students' names and that I tested them or I didn't. And now my Excel sheet, it's still set up the same in the sense of did I test them or not, but I put in what test I gave, what teacher I gave it to, what date. Like, I added more detail, and that just came from time, because I realized if I would look back it's just easier if I already have all that information in the Excel sheet instead of trying to see it in the Excel, then go find the folder and then search through it. Like, it's all right there. So certain things you just learn through time, and it just helps you stay more organized and get what you need faster. Interpreting data is another thing that you become more confident in as time goes on. And that's just because of experience. So the more kids you test, the more different results you are exposed to. And that doesn't mean that you're going to know how to deal with every single case, because that just is impossible. We learn as we grow, like you're always learning, but you get more experience with the more cases you have, and that makes you better at interpreting data because you're just getting exposure to it. For example, like I personally don't feel like I'm great at doing suicide assessments or threat assessments, but that's because I haven't been exposed to a lot of them. We get them, but I get them when I'm not at the one school and it's happening at the other, or the ones that I did have, they were all low. Like, I know what to do, but I'm just not as comfortable doing it because I just haven't had to do it. I learned about it, kind of like how when you're in grad school, you learn about what you should do, but actually experiencing that is a different matter. So the more practice you get with that, the more you go through it, the easier it becomes through time. The last one I'm going to mention is it becomes easier to just understand in general what school psychologists do. So when I was in school, I remember I was asked a bunch of times, what does a school psychologist do and how would you explain that in a 30-second elevator speech? And I didn't really know how to do that. And to be honest, I still don't know how to do that in 30 seconds, but I do know what school psychologists do, and that will vary as well depending on your district. But you might have an idea of what you're gonna do in grad school, and then reality sets in when you're actually working and you're like, oh, this is what we actually do. So in grad school, you learn all the things you can do and what it's supposed to look like in an ideal scenario. But then when you're working, reality sets in and you realize what you're actually doing. So I think just having that experience and exposure, honestly, can kind of humble you and you're like, oh, that's what we do. And again, it can be different depending on school and districts and the funding and where it's at, a whole bunch of things. But you will learn as time goes on, like, oh, okay, that's what we do. So I hope this video was helpful. I know it wasn't long. It was just something I thought of, and I thought it'd be a fun little video, especially for people in their first year or going on internship or practicum, to see like, what is it that you think you're doing, or things that you think you might be scared of, and things that I actually was afraid of, and now I'm like, oh, okay, I feel more confident in it. So just know that as time goes on, it will get better, it will be okay. And honestly, if you start off okay and ready to go right off the bat, that's good. This video is probably more for the people who are worried or think they're not doing things right, but you know, we can all help each other, and just know it'll be okay. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate you all. If you have any ideas for future videos, as always, leave that down below, message me, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Bye.